It's a nice little experiment to watch. It's crazy. They want Caitlin Clark arrested for wanting to get a triple-double. Yeah. The WNBA's biggest issue is a huge portion of their fan base has never watched sports before. Everyday things in other sports leagues result in calls for investigations. This league is going nowhere. They're actively killing the goodwill that they've built up.
Demanding an arrest over a basketball game? The Caitlin Clark controversy is tearing social media apart right now. What happened on the court during her triple-double, and why are Sky fans losing their minds over it? Plus, how is Dave Portnoy's massive $350,000 win fueling the fire?
What? What are you talking about? Literally illegal. It's crazy. Caitlin was caught on broadcast telling Stephanie White she needed one more rebound for a triple-double. Stephanie put her back in. This is literally illegal.
You won't believe the insane reactions from Angel Reese fans, and the WNBA might be getting involved. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Imagine this. Caitlin Clark walks onto the court for her season debut and drops a ridiculous triple-double. 30 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists.
The Caitlin Clark haters, the shit starters, the people that I guess have never watched actual sports ever, they want Caitlin Clark to be arrested. Portnoy placed a $25,000 bet on Caitlin Clark getting a triple-double. We all know that she got a triple-double. All right? Because she got a triple-double and Dave Portnoy had a bet on it. This guy comes out and says, I don't even know who Jack Mackey is. Oh, he's with Barstool.
The Chicago Sky didn't see it coming, but you'd think this would be a moment for the highlight reel. Instead, fans are losing it online, calling her performance everything from disrespectful to outright criminal. And why? Because on the other side of that game was Angel Reese, and for her fans, Clark's dominance didn't just sting. It sparked a firestorm. Let's go back to what actually happened in this matchup. Clark was everywhere. She was dishing no-look passes, draining threes from deep, and crashing the boards like a forward. Chicago just couldn't keep up. By the time the fourth quarter hit, the Sky were already too far behind to recover, eventually falling 95-78. Angel Reese, meanwhile, had a night she'd probably rather forget. After being traded to Chicago in the offseason, expectations were sky-high for her leadership, but this was not her game. She finished with just 8 points, 3 rebounds, and looked visibly frustrated adjusting to her new role. It didn't help that Caitlin Clark seemed to target her during critical moments, calling for switches to line up against Reese and taking advantage of those matchups. This is where things online got messy. A tweet went viral claiming Clark asked to be subbed back in during the fourth quarter specifically to put the beast on Angel Reese. Whether or not that's true, Reese's fanbase didn't take it lightly. They accused Clark of padding her stats and even called the game rigged for allowing her to stay on the floor so late. A few even said it disrespected the spirit of the game. But let's be real here. Clark plays to win, and this wasn't about stat padding. It was about momentum, plain and simple. Now, add fuel to the fire. Dave Portnoy, yes, that Portnoy, placed a $100,000 bet on Iowa plus Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut, and walked away with a cool $350,000 win. His celebratory tweet, a video popping champagne, made things explode. Angel Reese fans flooded his replies, calling the bet proof of a rigged game. Some even suggested Clark and the WNBA wanted to embarrass Reese intentionally. This wasn't just a game anymore. It became a narrative. And if that wasn't enough, accusations of racism started trickling in from Indiana Fever fans, some claiming Clark's dominance was only praised because she's white. These claims, of course, completely ignore the numbers she put up. But online outrage doesn't usually fact-check. Here's the truth. Caitlin Clark didn't break the game. She elevated it. Social media, though, that's another story. It takes moments like this, twists them beyond recognition, and amplifies the wildest takes. But the real question is, how much of this outrage actually compares to what's happening in the stands or on the court? How do the fans who show up game after game feel about this storm of drama? Let's explore that next. You know what's crazier than the whole arrest Caitlin Clark nonsense? The backlash her Black fans are getting just for supporting her. That's right. While everyone seems to be locked in debates over Clark's game, a section of her fan base is now under fire simply because they don't fit the so-called right image of a WNBA supporter. Turns out, praising one of the league's brightest stars makes you a target, depending on who you are. Let's break this down. Caitlin Clark's fan base isn't just the loud college basketball crowds cheering from Iowa. It's grown, it's diverse, and it's surprising some people. For example, in online forums and YouTube comments, there's a growing number of Black fans celebrating her skill, her swagger, and how she plays the game. But here's the catch. This support doesn't come without criticism. These fans are feeling the backlash, with some even being called sellouts for choosing to back Clark, especially when players like Angel Reese still face a mountain of hate from their detractors. One fan said, "If you're a Kayla Clark fan and you Black, bro, you is the biggest sellout of the culture." That's not exactly subtle, right? This backlash isn't just about Caitlin Clark, though. It's exposing how sports fandoms themselves often draw messy lines. In many cases, fandoms break down along race, gender, or any narrative that social media decides to spotlight. Some critics are labeling support for players like Clark as siding with privilege or turning your back on the culture, especially when the player in question is a white star in a league where Black athletes dominate. Research backs up this division. Sports researchers say these tensions aren't exactly new, but are amplified to extremes in the social media age. Platforms reward strong opinions, not thoughtful ones, and fandoms unravel faster online than in any court or arena. What's interesting, though, is how Caitlin Clark seems to be cutting right through these lines with her talent. Her fans, regardless of identity, are there for the killer step-back threes, the pinpoint passes, and the way she plays with zero hesitation. That's what unites them. You could argue the toxic stuff online has little to do with the actual fans at games, cheering for the basketball itself, and not the noise around it. But how does the WNBA itself come into play here? And what about those accusations of racism floating around? Let's look closer at how the league and social media are shaping these stories. The outrage over Caitlin Clark's triple-double says more about online culture than basketball itself. What started as a phenomenal performance turned into accusations, petitions, and even calls for WNBA involvement. Social media thrives on friction, creating debates out of thin air. As Dave Portnoy put it, "You're lending credence when the league responds to rumors without proof." Meanwhile, actual fans are left sifting through chaos, wondering how this grew bigger than the game. Instead of chasing unverified drama, why not focus on the brilliance of Clark's play? Her talent is undeniable, and the game deserves the spotlight, not the noise.